brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on to reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on. I won't stop now. I'll keep moving on till I reach the top somehow. I'll keep moving on.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, whatever your mind conceive, that's what you can achieve. But it's time for me to bid you, St. Kitts and Nevis, a very pleasant night. So to my dear friends and family in the entire Caribbean region, to my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and in the Vision diaspora, I say greetings to all who are on the World Wide Web. Some of you are in Africa, there's some of you in Asia, some of you in Europe, and a whole lot of you are all over North America. So I'm at liberty to say good night. I'm at liberty to say good morning, and certainly I'm at liberty to say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. And my Straight Talk family, the issues in St. Kitts and Nevis are still surrounding politics, although I was taken by surprise when I heard the talk about monkeys today. Notwithstanding that, my Straight Talk family, we do have first-timers, and I should say welcome, and to inform you that Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression on all issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On this program, we have an opportunity to raise issues and focus on issues of national interest, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a program to express yourselves freely. Let's in the process continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we try to raise the level of national discourse. We try to raise the level of national consciousness by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation, my Straight Talk family, on yet another occasion. I have not seen the COVID update for today, so I don't know what is the exact disposition of our COVID, or what the COVID situation in St. Kitts. I do know there are a few cases, and I can only implore you to stay safe, my family. Use the non-pharmaceutical tools as our protection in this continuing fight against that dreadful disease. Tonight, though, I wanted to discuss, and I recall that my grandmother always used the adage, mouth open, story jump out. As they would say, mouth open, story jump out. And I'm sure that we have all heard of that adage so many times. To me, it's an old saying which expresses a general truth about some aspect of life and or about someone. It also means that sometimes we are forced to talk, and when one is forced to talk, he or she invariably says more than he or she is expected to say. In our current political situation in St. Kitts and Nevis, friends, colleagues, and more specific in our case, our politicians or politicians who once sat in cabinet together have, believe it or not, become mortal enemies. And they have, so to speak, taken off their gloves. And their stories are extremely interesting. Though at times, if you are listening, my Straight Talk family, you ask yourselves if they are stand-up comedians like this one, my Straight Talk family. Very interesting.
I told my leader, the Honorable Mark goes, he is my leader. I'll follow you wherever you go. I'll follow you everywhere. If you go to the gates of hell, I might kick you in because I'm not going with you.
Very interesting, my Straight Talk family. But ask yourselves, is it a real joke? Or is it really a joke? Because the CCM's platform touts absolute truth. That's their motto. So Alexis must be, we can only surmise, talking the truth. He'll kick his leader into hell. So we must take Alexis Jeffers seriously, because he suggests, in fact, that his leader, Mark Brantley, is going to hell. Because Mark Brantley really behaves like a devil most times. You know, when you hear him trying to stir up the ants' nest, trying to divide St. Kitts and Nevis, when in fact the best thing happened to Nevis was team unity. He said so himself. And we know better times have come to our sisters and brothers in Nevis. No matter which side of the political divide you may want to stand or sit on. But when you hear Mark Brantley talking about bones in your rice and pepper in your soup, you understand the devilish nature of this man. He is a secessionist. And I make no apologies to say that. And I mean no disrespect to the citizens of Nevis or Nevisians or those in the CCM. I just state the fact. And I apologize if the fact upsets. But the fact is, as I said before, and I'll spend not a lot of time on Mark Brantley, because after 5 years, or 7 years to be exact, in the federal government, he clearly does not understand how government works. When he peddles and he beats this dead horse about CBI revenue and tries to make the point that CBI revenue is not tax revenue because the Constitution on the 1110 or wherever he finds it speaks to tax revenue. Mark Brantley and those who are fooled by him, revenue is revenue. Whether it's tax revenue or non-tax revenue, it is revenue. The non-tax and the tax is just an economic classification of the revenue. So stop your nonsense and your spurious arguments about CBI not being a tax revenue. Nonsense, Mark Brantley. I don't want to repeat what the former Deputy Prime Minister said about you, but nonsense. Done with your nonsense. Revenue is revenue. And once it goes into the consolidated fund, there's only one way it can come out. And the Constitution speaks to allocation. But that's not enough for Mark. I hope and pray that Nevisians would understand that Mark Brantley is about himself. As I said, he took home 4 salaries in 1 month. And he didn't have the heart, the inkling, to even give some families $1,000 to help them out in difficult times. Mark you, over $50,000. If Mark Brantley, as rich as he is, he claims he's rich, he wears shoes for thousands of dollars. I don't even know the brand names. I wear some simple shoes. But if Mark Brantley, out of his December salary, had a heart, and he would have given $1,000, only $1,000, out of his 4 salaries, he would have satisfied 50 families in Nevis. But he chose not to do that. He has no heart. Mark Brantley is about himself. But we cannot make a mistake, and I'm depending on those in Nevis. Do not make the mistake to let Mark continue, because he will never learn to balance a budget. Never. Since 2018, he has never balanced a budget. Imagine Mark Brantley talking about getting $5 million and saying his salary or the wage bill for civil servants in Nevis is $8,900,000 and whatever amount of thousand he called, right? Is he saying that the federal government must pay his civil servants who he hires as he wishes? Do not even need them falling down on each other? No, we cannot deal with Mark Brantley and the others in these serious times. Time for change. Change is unavoidable. But my Straight Talk family, the denial is the order of the day. Denial is the order of the day. But it is not that easy, because when the FIPS, the newly appointed minister with responsibility for transport and for the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation, Minister Wendy Phipps recently shed plenty light on certain stories about SCASPA and the UDC. Having investigated these stories, it was easily concluded that the ministries under the former ministers, Lindsey Grant and Sean Richards, were riddled with mountainous evidence of incompetence, corruption, and the likes. Sean Richards recently admitted in a statement, in his capacity as minister responsible for SCELIC, also for the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation, he was unaware of the improprieties that took place under his very eyes, under his very nose. He is therefore, I submit, incompetent. He's either incompetent, I should say, or he lied with a Bible in his hand. Sean Richards lied with a Bible in his hand when he tried to say this, my straight talk family.
There is a Bible here on my desk that every single thing that I am saying, that I, Sean K. Richards, is saying is the whole truth and absolutely nothing but the truth. I swear on this Bible today that what I am saying is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
He lied. I said that Sean Richards, he either lied or is incompetent, because every single government minister is or has been given what I call a constitutional directive. A constitutional directive in accordance with section 61 of our constitution, and which reads, and I quote, where any minister has been charged with responsibility for any department of the government, he or she shall exercise general direction and control over that department. And that's a constitutional directive given to every minister to have general control and supervision, or shall exercise general direction, I should say, and control over every department. Yes, there's a condition that each department or every ministry must be headed by a permanent secretary. That's a public officer. So Sean Richards has failed, I submit, to carry out his constitutional duty as a minister, or he's just plain downright incompetent, I should say, or rather, he is a liar. Now, Sean Richards, I am told, asks for a debate. Now, a debate on what? But if so, Sean, I want to inform you, the debate has already started. The debate has already started when you put additional lights on the Sandy Point field. You said that, Sean Richards. Here's what you said, Richards.
For over 25 years, you that lights will be placed on the play field. And so in the first term, you got lights on the play field. Some of you complained that the lights were not adequate. And during this, the second term, I ensured that 2 additional light poles were added to the play field.
And let me be clear, no one, including myself, is questioning the adequate or the adequacy of lights, whether the adequate lights should or should not have been or should not be on the play field, Sean. Instead, the question being asked is why 2 additional light poles? Why? 2, only 2 additional light poles cost Skellig $1 million. That's the question. We're not saying they should not put 2 light poles on Sandy Point Field. The people in Sandy Point ought to get the lights. Sandy Point is a sporting community. Produce lots of great athletes. Lots of great athletes. Even the young man Rogers, if that's his name. But we're not going to speak about Rogers tonight. He spoke for himself. The first term, Sean, we, the government, put 4 light poles that came from Warner Park. Warner Park and the Football Association were attempting to bring the field and its lighting up to international standards. And 4 additional light poles were being put there to get moved from 650 lux to 1,300 lux. And the engineering advice we got is that no, we don't need to put 4 additional light poles. We can put 4 columns of 20,000 lux that would solve the problems. And as such, the poles went to Sandy Point. The cost of the 4 poles were less than the 2 poles you put in your second term in 2020, just after you became the minister with responsibility for Skelec. And Skelec paid that. But what is troubling Sean Richards is that the 2 light poles you put in Sandy Point when you became minister and cost Skelec $1 million, when you make that comparison with 6 light poles in Keon, costing the government $1.6 million. So on average, those 2 light poles should have cost a minimum, we anticipate would be $400,000. Let's just give you the benefit of the doubt and say $500,000. So the question is, where has the other $500,000 gone? Well, mouth open, story jump out. Because the talking continues about lights. And Sean Richards must now tell the country what is his relationship with Halstead Isles, if any. And what does Sean Richards know about the development of 6 acres of land by a company called KI Homes? Sean Richards must also tell us about the Island Main Road and the Old Road project. Let's talk about those projects, Sean Richards. The Island Main Road and the components of that project, to wit, the Old Road Bay project. And here is the second observation, Sean Richards. 36 lights are required for the Old Road Bay, which were to be installed by Skelec, and this has been delayed. Rock and Dirt were instructed to erect the foundations for these lights. However, they have been given only 11 sets of bolts for the light poles, and more than 3 months, no further work can be done by Rock and Dirt, the contractor, as all the bolts for 25 lights cannot be supplied, despite the assurance by the chairman, Don Moncampo, and the general manager, Jomo Williams, both of Skelec, that lights and bolts were available since October of last year, October 2021. So the question is, Sean Richards, as the minister with responsibility for public infrastructure and Skelec, simple question: where are these 25 lights and the 100 bolts, which are approximately 3 feet long for the foundation, which are causing over 3 months of delay in completing the lighting for the Old Road Bay project? And who is accountable for the cost of that delay? The other question, Sean Richards: are these the same lights at the Magnolia residences and condominiums being developed by KI Homes? And what, again, I ask the question, is your relation with Sean Richards, if there is any? What is your relationship, Sean Richards? Let me see if I got that right. What is your relationship, Sean Richards, with Halstead Isles, the developer of KI Homes? And when you respond, if you respond, I will provide more information on the cabinet submission that you brought to the cabinet. I was there. Remember, you reminded me that Hallie is my cousin. And for full disclosure, my Straight Dog family, Halstead Isles is my cousin. You open your mouth, Sean, and these other stories jumped out. These other stories jumped out when you open your mouth, Sean Richards. These are the stories that jump out because it was revealed that this happened my family.
My research has also uncovered that the issue of conflicts of interest would have been evident at the board level of the UDC. Independent and credible verification proved that one director of the corporation had been asked to resign as a result of him writing a check to himself. It should also be noted that the said director, according to the minutes, quote, was charged with spearheading the project, unquote, to construct a security guard hut at the marina, a topic that has been the subject of much public commentary over the past several months, including but not limited to discourse on the high cost differential regarding construction of a structure of such size and simplicity. I should also state, based on the minutes, that the original estimate was pegged at $227,000, which was subsequently reduced to $150,000.
Mouth open, story jump out, my Straight Talk family. Sean, bring it on. Tell the country you are trying to lead whether that director who signs his own check is the one you fired. Tell the country who that director is. Other question that jumped out. Mouth open, as I said, Tory jump out, my family.
I should say the correct legal name is. My observations are as follows, and these observations are based on the minutes of the corporation, which I would have obtained from the secretary. I am still awaiting the receipt of several pertinent documents I requested from the corporation. Based on my perusal of the minutes, it is clear that corporate credit cards were issued to both the chairman and the chief executive officer. The credit limit on the card issued to the chairman is $26,250, while the one issued to the CEO carries a limit of $48,750. The minutes further state that the cards, quote, are to be used to make purchases on behalf of the corporation, unquote. It is unclear rather, what levels of control have been exercised over these expenditure that will be covered by the credit cards. It is also rather irregular for corporate purchases to be routinely paid by credit card. What is also of keen interest for our ministry is the fact that there is a great divide between the credit limit of these two UDC credit cards and the credit limit of the federal government's chief financial advisor, the financial secretary. The credit limit of the financial secretary, reconfirmed as recently as yesterday, is a mere 10,000 EC dollars. Pick that has been the subject of much.
You hear that, my Straight Talk family? The chief financial officer of the government, the chief financial advisor of the government, the highest paid civil servant, next to or similar to the cabinet secretary, which is the chief secretary, has a credit limit of $10,000. Imagine a CEO, Cindy Deming, of the urban or the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation, has a credit card with a credit limit of near $50,000. I wait with a bated breath for a subsequent report from the minister, Wendy Phipps, and I know she's rather thorough. She must look at those bank or card statements and come back to the country and tell us what these cards were swiped to pay for. Imagine a chairman of a corporation that does not even bring in or generate revenue like a Casper or a Skellig, or even government itself, has a credit limit on a card for $26,000. What is going on at the UDC? Something has to be done. And the Minister Sean Richards, or former Minister Sean Richards, says he doesn't know. He has to know. He ought to know. That is his duty to know. And if he doesn't know, he's either incompetent or he is fabricating, and I would put it nicely, he is being economic with the truth. Mouth open and story jump out, because what you heard next was this, my Straight Dog family. This was the story that jumped out next.
A number of other areas of concern of the UDC. One case in point is a listing of, quote, UDC projects / financial obligations, which is an outline of the large amounts that were to have been paid out by the UDC in 2021. While most of these expenses were related to operational costs within the UDC's mandate, there appears to have been provision of support to the former Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards, in the amount of $100,000 for the outfitting of his private box at the CPL. This line item is listed as, quote, support for minister and staff incentives, unquote.
A Straight Dog family, $100,000 for Sean Richards' CPL box. $100,000. Interesting to note as well, I trust that the minister, Wendy Phipps, when she should have done her investigation, she would say who were the caterers, or who was the caterer, my Straight Dog family. Interesting to note. We want to know who the caterers were that provided the service to Sean Richards on his jolly folly when he had his fun for the CPL. Is this the caliber of leader that we need to be Prime Minister of the Federation? Cindy Deming, don't call my personal line. The number you can call, I'll open the lines anytime now, Cindy Deming. The number is 663-6672. I want to tell you, my Straight Dog family, that Cindy Deming is calling my personal telephone line. We want to speak to the country. I will open the lines anytime now. And Cindy Deming, for you and other listeners, the number is 663-6672. We are not going to talk secrets tonight. I know when mouth open, story jump out. So I'm going to open the line since you're trying to call Cindy Deming. I'm going to open the lines so we can open all our mouths, because Straight Talk bring you the facts. But when I do open the lines, I anticipate that you will respect others. And of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships. Let us ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in saying and or doing those things, then let us strive, my Straight Talk family, to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. As I said, I just had a call. The lines are now open I just had a call from Cindy Deming. The numbers are 663-6672. You can get me on that line right now. Let us have a conversation. Let the whole world know. We're not going to talk secrets tonight at all. Not between 8 and 10. Between 8 and 10 on a Monday night and a Thursday night, we do not talk secrets. I also invite as well I spoke as well about Noah who built an ark. Remember that Bible story. Noah took nigh 100 years to build an ark. But an ark was built for Noah. So my friend from Montreal said the ark had 2 mills. But the ark is still being paid, I hope not. But at the last I learned, it was still being paid by Skelec for $10,000 per month. I understand that UDC, in fact, paid an amount to help to build that ark. I understand as well, but I don't want to preempt and go ahead of the minister. I understand as well that the $17 million at the UDC was depleted. I cannot confirm it at this moment. I understand that this is the state of the financial affairs at UDC. I remember when we went to UDC, UDC wanted an intervention from government in 2015, but that was not, did not materialize because the astute leadership of the then chairman of the board and the then minister, we sold some land at TDC and we recovered some monies owed to the city, to TDC by one of the Nanda brothers, I can state, some over $4 million, and the account at UDC then became healthy. The accounts in Skelec, I've told you before, Skelec has gone for a bailout from the government. And all these are the ministries that were being run by Sean Richards. So the lines are open, my Straight Dog family. I'll entertain your calls, I'll entertain your emails. And remember again, the numbers are 646-829, 646-829, 646-829-6672, and or 663, which is the local number, 663-6672. Again, the CEO of UDC, you were just trying to call me on my local line. This number is open at 663-6672. Remember, as I said to you, we don't talk secrets between 8 and 10 o'clock on a Monday night and or a Thursday night. Let's go to the lines. Caller, you are live.
Hello. Good evening, Honorable Patrick Liburd.
Good evening, my brother.
I don't want to hold up the line tonight because I would like to hear what Cindy have to say to you concerning Port Dante. So I will yield for a short while so she can get it to you. Okay, thank you very much.
I'm grateful for your understanding, and like I said, hello caller, you're live. Sorry, I'm sorry there, Ralph. I thought I...
Okay.
Just give me 1 second there, caller. Give me 1 second there. We seem to have had those lines crossed, but caller, you're live.
Hello.
Yes, you're live.
Good evening.
Good evening, my
Mr.
dear.
Patrick, how are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Well, that's the man want to be the Prime Minister of St. Kitts. Why you all staying so long to take up those people? If it was a poor person, you have already arrested them. What do you want to tell me? They are bigger than the law that you all can arrest them? You all arresting poor people, poor single people?
You know, caller,
those people are criminals. They're tearing the country down. But it will be Harris again. Harris again. Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, caller. And
thank you.
And lots of people have been asking why these people have not been arrested. And I don't know. I don't know if it's an arrestable offense. I don't know what steps have been taken to do that. I should say. But I want to suggest that whenever the auditors are brought in, let's try to get auditors like Ernst & Young. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Okay, I seem to have missed a caller. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller. Yes, caller.
My bunny lies over the ocean.
My bunny lies over the ocean. My bunny lies over the sea. How is
Munster beautiful.
Yes.
But shout up your fans, them. Cause look, let me tell you something. You got fans up here with dream, sleep. They just can't wait for Monday on Thursday. Like you have to go answer every night, you know. Even Sunday and all.
I'll consider that highly, my brother.
You got a fan up here. Not how me convince you and tell him no parties lose the election. He said, partner, me don't listen to you. There is no way parties could lose the election. They please them TV. Right? So me just tell you what kind of answer that. Anyway, let's get to some business. Me hear something read a while ago that somebody write one check to their own self.
That's according to the minister.
What foolishness is that? But listen to me. Let me take out the first signature and the last. Remember, you got one little word in between when name rich. You get that?
No, you lost me just now. Say again?
Okay. You got to take out the first word. You got to take out the first letters and the last few letters. But in between one name,
it's a rich.
You got the word rich.
Okay, got you. I'm following you.
So then on there for whosoever round clock in, I back up then chuck because this are riches how we deal with now. hey, let me get up.
You're talking in parables, my brother. That's it is straight talk. Straight talk.
But still talking straight because remember me spend a million.
Say the lane, okay. Got you, my brother.
Anyway, me want to hear from the caller, so me go yield just like stay in my lane. So we'll be listening.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you, my brother. Thank you, Montserrat. I want to hail also my colleague in Montserrat, Honorable Paul Lewis, former Minister of Communication and Works, and all the Montserrat posse, right? I haven't been to Montserrat for a long time, so I really am due a visit there, but thank you, Montserrat, for the continuing support. And throughout the Caribbean region, I haven't heard from St. Vincent and the Grenadines for a long time, neither from Jamaica. So we do have our wings spread all over. But the truth is, my straight dog family, the truth is that this man asks for a debate. And if he wants a debate, then he must start talking now. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Good evening, Dr. Ian Patches Liburd.
Your humble
How are you?
Your humble servant is peaceful, Dr. Culture.
I love that adjective, humble.
Yes.
Good evening, me folks in Montserrat. Long time I haven't visited the volcano, but I know you all up the safe. Patches, like rock, mouth open, toe jump out.
Jump out, yes.
And Bob Marley could see in the future, you know, he's a prophet. He was a prophet. Because, you know, some of the lyrics in one of his reggae songs said, if night should turn to day, the amount of people will be running away. And you know why they will be running away? They choose in the night to do the wrong. So that nobody could see them.
True.
But the sun rise upon them and he catch them off guard. Yes. So see them scampering.
Yes.
That is what happening around here. Thank God that he intervened and put Dr. Harris where he is. Because Dr. Harris, because I hear him said, Fair share for all. Fair share for all. That is right. That is good. That's a well, it's a fair share for all. Well, Oregon, be what you call it? A Fambinambi minister. That is me big word, a big word. Fambinambi minister. And I don't get what I want because it's a fair share for all. And he ain't gonna stop anybody from wanting to get something illegal. So we gonna try me trick. But what happened now is that he lifted up the rug off the floor and everybody see what was under the rug. So nobody can hide now. So they up and down the place. One want to be minister of that money and one want to be minister of power to cover up all these wrongdoings. Only you can say, you never see foul bottom till wind blow. And dog, if dog the only know how small the bum is, he will never swallow bone. And that is what happening to all of them now, and the shame. Because Dr. Harris is standing to what he believes and what he learned from the Bible. Truth and righteousness. Honesty is the best policy. Thank you, Patrick. I'll be back because they're afraid. I can't believe people smiling with you who know better. And they know people around them who they associate with doing all this wickedness. And the smiling is good for them. Come on, people, come on. Patrick, play the tape them the whole world here who been doing wrong. Do what is right, man. That is God, what God requires of us. I'll come back, Patrick.
Thank you very much for your input, my Straight Talk family. And I'm asking the question because this is a pertinent question. Sean Richards said he wanted a debate. Let him come to the country and tell the country why the Old Road Bay project is delayed for nigh 3 months. Why Rockandor, the contractor, cannot get to execute their contract as signed. And we also need to embark on an investigation and establish whether those lights, those poles, the 25 poles at the KI Homes development, where they came from, and police should investigate them and make an arrest. That is my suggestion. Caller, you are live.
Good evening, Honorable Patrick Liburd.
Good evening, King of the Rockefeller.
Yeah. Now,
people.
You see, this is not new to me, right? Because it's not new to me because I've been playing a whistle all the time and nobody was taking me on.
King Rockefeller. King Rockefeller.
Yeah.
Please. Turn your radio down, right?
I'll turn it off and all.
Please, thank you. I want the whole world to hear you. And why you locked the place so early? I came looking for you and you were closed down at 4 o'clock. What happened?
Well, the whole trouble, I was just practicing for the show for tonight.
Okay. What's on your mind? Go ahead, please. Yes.
Now, Patrick, I've been over the functions no build the first act. Your mind, I never get a real act, right? No get an act from over there, and now comes to you, you get another act from the electric light department. Remember, when he came into town, a chairman for Carnival, as to unexpected, said the monkey and the chimpanzee came with him. Remember the song?
Go ahead, I don't remember. Go ahead.
Okay. Now, Patrick, what has done to me over Port today? I went to all kind of people. Everybody that I could think. I call you many times and put my grievances to you. And not being solved. Because they take over the corporation and say it's a private competition and government and have nothing to do with this.
That's so false.
You understand me?
That is so false.
Yeah, well, the whole trouble about it, I got information, I got letters I can give you. I got a big file on it. So I think when they are watching them need to call me and let me drop off my file them there. Because what they do over there is wrong. And they order things over there and carry them sunny point of private homes. You know, but it was ordered by UDC board. You understand me? The captain went over there without notifying anybody. They run people out of the marina and all of that. They own pan people they run out of there too. They're not things are hard and nothing was doing and they still kept the price. And threatening to do you this and threatening to do you that and talking about to the private run company. It's not a company owned by government. You understand me? Now, all the people that most security guard now is on this step over there and getting big salary. You understand me? They got their own parking, but they make their own parking and collecting money from them parking. You understand me? And people land what they done pepper. You understand me? These are the kind of ignorance that goes on over there. But I want to fair share, you know. I want to fair share. Because none of them going to intimidate me. You understand me? I see this Ramgo DJ up and down abusing the governor, abusing the chief of police, abusing the attorney general, and threatening them. And nobody saying nothing about it. It looks like they afraid him. You understand me? All when the Prime Minister said that people in the Pelican Mall and at Port Zante and at the waterfront down there should get 6 months leave. They harass me and get the money all the time from me. But without kind of threatening language. You understand me? Threatening me all the time for all kind of reasons and collecting me money when others never paying.
Okay.
Millionaires never paying.
Okay. Got you.
You understand me? So I want to hear what Colin Turner to hear what she got to say. Because in Valley ain't going the way I would think it'll go, you know. Okay. All right.
Thank you very much, King, the People's King, King Rockefeller, my straight dog family. And just for those who may not know, it is important to make this point that the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation, by resolution filed with the Financial Services Regulatory Commission on November 12, 2010. On November 12, 2010, my straight dog family. This resolution was signed on behalf of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis, and it reads, the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation Limited, the Companies Act, Cap 21.03, ordinary resolution, and reads, the undersigned being the sole member of the St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation Limited, the company, having the right, just hold the line for me 1 second, caller. Could you hold the line a second? Having the right to vote at general meetings or authorized agents of such members signifies its assent to the passing of the resolution set out below under the provision of Article 78 of the Company's Articles of Association, to the effect that such resolution shall be deemed to be as effective as if it had been passed at a general meeting of the company duly convened and held. Be it resolved that St. Kitts Urban Development Corporation Limited, the company, pursuant to Article 90 of the Articles of Association, hereby appoints Dennis Merchant as a director to fill the vacancy left by Anthony Johnson, who resigned from the company effective the 31st day of August 2010. And this is signed by the then Minister Ricky Skerritt on behalf of the St. Kitts and Nevis government, the sole member of the Urban Development Corporation. And the resolution of shareholders dated 2008, and the resolution also signed by by the sole subscriber. So yes, it's under the Companies Act, but the sole subscriber is the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. We cannot dispute that. But let's go back to the lines. Caller, thank you for holding. Hello, caller.
That is good night.
Good night, my dear brother. How about thou?
Oh, not too bad, not too bad. I'm here just listening as usual. Them kids are playing and everything. I just hope people stop, look and listen and do what they got to do when they get around.
Yes.
Now, but first, I want to thank God for life. Thank God for the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, a country we're born into and live into up, and doing well for my country and doing well for my people. And I will continue to do well for my people. And a unity banner. Don't care we come. I will continue to do well. Patches, first, again, Patches, people got to go there when you go to the poll, go vote. We got to know who elect to in this election coming up. Because I believe that this is a divine intervention. Just look how unity getting in the divine intervention with the Prime Minister Dr. Harris. I believe the separation is a divine intervention too. Because since that separation here are coming out. And that is why I always say, these politicians are the people we elect. They don't study the ordinary man in the country, the ordinary man will support them and behind them. Look who these steps go into. Look who working these steps. Look who getting this and look who getting that. Not the ordinary man. Dr. Harris there as the leader trying to endeavor best to do what he can do for the down to ordinary man in this country. Look who was under pandemic. And look how we get out of it. With surplus. That is no wonder that in this about the fear share and all kind of things. And all kind of different things we hear them talking about. And they remove themselves from cabinet and all those things. Because the corruption they was into. And I'm not telling me they just come out from them. So there's cause confusion, so they separate, but they never know that these things will come out. Because we got financial secretary and we got accountants here we track that things. Patches, this country is us. And we cannot afford to allow these things to happen to the ordinary people taxpayers. The one that put in our kind of things that Harris that. And the man is doing a good job. So Patches, I ain't gonna be long. Patches, let me tell you something. I just call any people in this country to do what they got to do. Because only one choice we got in this country to make, Patches. Palm corrupt, Labour corrupt. They say, let me try a new party, the PLP. I believe that we'll get some success out of the PLP if they form the government and their own. Even if the party in the unity banner, some other party join with them. I believe that's the only way to go for things right now. Patches, no PAM, no more Labour. We want them back. I tell you, plain Patches. The people of this country need leadership. And we need accountability. And I believe that Frank had the chance to do it, but only because he was thinking some of them no one because they know the plan, they know what the plan to do. That is your wonderful regardless the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. And God bless you.
Thank you very much, my dear brother. God bless you as well. And you made the point about leadership, right? And yes, I believe that we want to start afresh. We see what Sean Richards has to offer. We see what Mark Brantley has to offer. The country wants a fresh start. And yes, just turn your radio down, my brother. Could you turn your radio down?
I turn it down.
Yeah, please. You're almost deafness here, my dear brother John, right? But so glad.
I turn it down.
Thank you. I'm so glad to hear you nonetheless. I'm so glad to hear you.
Well, I'm so glad to hear you.
Yes, I know I owe you a visit, right? I know. And I know as well because I have a soursop tree in my yard, and soursop would bear the drop, but the soursop tree never stops bearing. So I know as well I am due for soursop. What is on your mind tonight?
Well, what is on my mind? In Esther chapter 6 and Esther chapter 7. Now, this what happened. Haman hate the Jews. And Haman went to set out the Jews then. And do you know, Mordecai saved the king's life, and nobody know until Haman come to the plan to want to kill the Jews them. But $30, Haman built a gallows for Mordecai because he didn't like a bone in a Mordecai. He didn't like to see Mordecai to the king get an eye. So he didn't get up in him and tell, by God, build a gallows. And so Haman went and built a gallows. And when they went to the banquet, the king wanted the extra himself half I give him down. And so tell him you don't want that. You want the people like them saved. And when the king got up and went in the garden with the rat, when he come back, somebody tell the king that Haman built a gallows out there. He said, what? For Mordecai. He said, listen here, go out right now and end Mordecai and his gallows to make. My dear brother, listen here. What them will do? Every one of them will do. They will dig a hole for Mr. Harris. The same hole with a digging for Mr. Harris, they will drag up in the same hole. Just as Haman build the gallows for Mordecai, and just so them people can get it. God not sleep, God neither slumber, and his eyes are wide open. So, Miss Patrick, listen here. Be still. And know
That I am God.
God.
Yes.
God will gonna really exalt you among the heathen. He said, be not afraid of this great multitude. Patrick, the battle is not your one, but the Lord.
Gods, yes.
You need not to fight in this battle. Stand still and see the salvation of your Lord, your God.
Yes. Amen. Yes,
So here I want to tell you something. The same Egyptian that you see now, you will not see them no more. Let them go drown in the Red Sea.
Okay.
This is what me tell you. Me not talking no fairy tale, not talking the word of God. So have a pleasant night. I want to hear more. I hear from Paul. No, I hear it from you.
God bless you, my brother. Thank you.
Amen.
All the best. That's the Bible man.
Amen. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. That's the Bible man. That's the Bible man in the event you didn't know that. My Straight Talk family, it's 10 minutes after the 9 o'clock hour. We are looking at this old saying. My grandmother used to say, mouth open, Tory, jump out. Let us go back to the lines, caller. I want to thank you for holding your
Yes, good evening, all our practice.
How are
Good
you?
evening. I don't want to give me the money, but the chief, I eat up the money.
Hold on.
I got to walk out that deal.
Hold on, please. Hold on, my dear. Hold on. You gone? Hold on, please. You there? Are you there?
Yeah.
Turn down your radio, please.
Yes.
Turn down your radio. Turn down your radio. Do that for me. The first thing, turn your radio down. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Your radio is down?
Yes, I got it down.
Thank you very much. Take your time and make your point. You're my labor friend, but take your point.
I don't got all the money and I don't want to get poor people none. So we poor people work, I want to steal. Because they want money too. Because the NIA bring in money.
NIA?
So they want money too. So they see all the problem with the all you will deal. And all you supposed to make peace. Not going here quarters and quarters. Because it's a labor like quarters. Buy like quarters too.
But can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? My friend, take your time. Take your time. Did you say the NIA bring in the money or the NIA get money from St. Kitts?
The NIA
yes.
Get the money, right?
From St.
And
Kitts.
the them get the money too. And the unity get the money. But I want some money. I want $3,000 and I not give me none. So NIA, everybody want the money.
You want yours?
$3,000 and $3 million I get to complain. And I want $3,000 and 2 and 1.
Okay. Thanks a lot for your input.
Have a good night. Take care.
Have a good night, my dear. You know, everybody has a say. You know, everybody has a say when it comes to straight talk. And I'm still awaiting that call from Cindy Deming. I don't know if you want to talk about the credit cards. And for those of you who may have just joined us, this is what Wendy Phipps, the minister, had to say about the UDC credit cards.
My observations are as follows, and these observations are based on the minutes of the corporation, which I would have obtained from the secretary. I am still awaiting the receipt of several pertinent documents I requested from the corporation. Based on my perusal of the minutes, it is clear that corporate credit cards were issued to both the chairman and the chief executive officer. The credit limit on the card issued to the chairman is $26,250, while the one issued to the CEO carries a limit of $48,750. The minutes further state that the cards, quote, are to be used to make purchases on behalf of the corporation, unquote. It is unclear rather, what levels of control have been exercised over these expenditures that will be covered by the credit cards. It is also rather irregular for corporate purchases to be routinely paid by credit card. What is also of keen interest for our ministry is the fact that there is a great divide between the credit limit of these two UDC credit cards and the credit limit of the federal government's chief financial advisor, the financial secretary. The credit limit of the financial secretary, reconfirmed as recently as yesterday, is a mere 10,000 EC dollars. That has been the subject of much.
And that's the word coming from the minister with current responsibility for the St. Kitts urban development. And she spoke to the credit cards, one issued by the corporation to its chief executive officer, Cindy Deming, in the amount, the staggering amount of some $48,000, and to the chairman, or former chairman, Mr. Duggins, whom I had the honor to appoint in 2015 as a member of the board. He was then elevated under Sean Richards to chairman, and he, in his wisdom, in the board's wisdom, approved unto himself, himself and the current CEO, two credit cards, one for the chairman in the amount, the credit limit of some $26,000, and to the CEO, Cindy Deming, of $48,000. Mark you, we are told that the chief financial advisor, to wit the chief secretary, or the financial secretary, I should say, has a paltry limit of some $10,000. But that's in the public service. But my straight up family, these are the issues. I saw a call coming from Cindy Deming on my private line, but as I said to before, and I'll say again, on Mondays between 8 to 10, so too on Thursdays, we do not talk secrets, we talk in public. So Cindy Deming again, if you're trying to get me for any clarification, the number is 663-6672. There's a call on the line. Caller, I want to thank you for holding. You're live.
Oh yes. Good night. Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Oh, where you lead me, I will follow. I'm still waiting.
Yes, my dear. That's my dear constituent from Taylor's.
Oh.
Yes, of course, I know the voice.
Okay.
I didn't want to call your name, so I can never forget his voice. I can never forget your support as well, and the support
Okay, thank you.
The residents and constituents in Taylor's Village, and as well as the entire constituency, Frigate Bay, over there on the peninsula, on Bird Rock, Newtown, Ponds Extension, New Pond site, and all throughout the constituency.
All over.
Yes, we have a government to win. This is make certain. Whenever the elections are called, we have a government to win, and we have a leader to put back in office, the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris. Wherever he leads us, we must go. A young man said to me yesterday, Timothy Harris.
Looking forward, my dear boy. Good night.
Yes, good night, my dear. Good to hear you. Thanks so much for your input. Thank you.
Okay, then.
My dear R from Taylor's Village. You know, a young man stopped me yesterday and he asked me for $5. I said to him I didn't have any change at the moment, and I had some coins rather, and I put my hands on some dollar coins, and when I was going to give it to him, he said, "I'm only joking, Patches, I don't want any money." Then he said to me, "You know, I pray that Timothy Harris gets back into office. Timothy Harris looks after the poor," and that is so true. That tells it all. That's the kind of leader we want. We don't want a leader like Mark Brantley or a leader like Sean Richards. I said, and I understand that a soundbite was being circulated with reference to some comments I made about Terrence Drew, and I can repeat them. I like Terrence Drew. I sang to his wedding. His father is my bosom friend. But I do not believe that the country is ready for a leader like Terrence Drew. He's green. He will come in time, I hope and pray. Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
Mr. Ian Patches Liburd. Greetings, my brother, and how are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I'm very, very good. Listening to your interested program as usual. Giving the people education, and that is good. Through education, our people get liberation. That is good. What you're doing tonight is about good governance. Many of them in this country would say this and that about good governance, but when they see it happening in practical terms, they try to term it different. Especially when PAM and CCM was in opposition to the Labour administration. It's the way they conducted themselves during opposition, during the debate in the House of Assembly. The people of the country decided they should work together. Unity is the voice came from the people. And through that, that's how that unification come about. The voice of the people said the politicians must work together. And what happened in 2015, those who got elected, even though they were the part of the unity, I just see what's unfold now. Those who got elected 2015, what you see unfold, they were part of the administration, but they wasn't with the administration. They had their own agenda. Even you might hear CCM and PAM saying they are unity. If they were unity, they would have been still in government. Because the unity administration is still in government. And also, if they were unity, they would have ousted Dr. Harris out of office. Because they would have been working together for the people's agenda. And they never come to the country and say that the policies that the cabinet agreed to, Dr. Harris is against the policies. They never said that. Because he is the one who always brings the policies to the cabinet. Even before the government reshuffle the cabinet, I always say, just up from observation, team unity, anyone can be prime minister. And I always look at Wendy Phipps. She is a stalwart in this country as a woman. And she represents people. What's happening today concerning what the reports are coming out to the public, that is good for us as citizens to know. Because many times in the past, many persons get jobs in this country and just see that they could squander taxpayers' money as they like. You know, but no, everybody, if the money is to go around, it got to be manageable. So what's going on is very good, Mr. Patches. And you see, the CCM and PAM, they realize now that the people is really a unity. Because the people ain't follow them, you know. They ain't got no demonstration in town to set the people against the government. The people looking for development. That's what the people are seeking for, development. People ain't looking for no election. If 2020, the people know they're going back to the polls in 2022, they will rethink something. But nobody in this country has known. They will have been going back to the polls in 2022. So this premature election that is hosted upon us, people must think wise. It must be a wise start of the people. Because none of the parties ready for the election. It's just that they got to take part. But not even the country ready for the election. It's just that he got to be involved. But who trusts it upon the people? Government members trust it upon the people, even without thinking what they were doing. I hear the play tonight, they're going to have to really know concerning Alex Jeffers. Since last week I listened, and it's good to hear play tonight. Wherever he lead him, he go. But he ain't going to lead him to hell. But little he know, when a man make a decision and make you lose your job, lead you into hell. So you got to rethink now. Nevis got to start thinking if the Premier of Nevis is the rightful man to make decisions on federal level for the whole country. Because it's a serious decision what's happening to the whole country. I mean, you want to be a prime minister time. You kidnapping the whole people, your country, you're holding the people hostage. For what? Mr. Patrick, you continue to be good and you stay strong. Good night.
Yes, my dear brother. Yes, we need to punish those who thrust us into this premature elections. I support that wholeheartedly. Let us go back to the lines. Caller, you line. Yes, caller.
Yes, good night, Mr. Liburd.
Good night, my dear brother. How about thou?
I'm blessed. I have to give everybody the chance to call you and do what they have to say what they have to say. Because when Mr. Joy Atkinson had delivered that bomb about the corruption down at UDC, people wasn't taking him on. He was thinking he was jokes, he was making a lot of money. But the food come to bear. Because when that lady came down here as the CEO, I see something was going on. And a person like me, as you know, this is, you know me, I know you. when I open up my mouth to speak to certain officers down there, the black opinion to the same lady, but I tell them I have a right to speak, and I'm going to speak about for example, which I was one of the first founders as a security officer down there, and I'm going to let everybody to know who I am. And then it's a Frederick Beyer. I reach up to the rank as a supervisor wearing 4 bars, along with Mrs. Carla Matthews with 4 bars, and Mrs. Ernestine Abbott with 4 bars. And to bring a lady from Sunny Point who was in the police force, we put her in charge of us as the chief of security. And then the bring the next woman from Sunny Point and make her assistant to this chief security, which means they already get rid of me. One of them told me if I don't be back in the uniform, they're going to send police to me. First time in my life I ever been threatened that police will come to my place for their uniform. But God doesn't sleep. The Prime Minister now have a right, which is second quarter 7, send up police and lock them up. And I need my money. I can do like the guy our TDC. I can borrow out my money. I want my money. And she sent me on retirement without giving me a good noticing. But anyhow, I just want to let people know there was a lot of corruption going on down there at Port Zante. Even Mr. Rock used to get a lot about I used to go and try and speak on the behalf of Mr. Rock with Mr. Philip. Mr. Philip was the manager. But the woman come in with an intention to get rid of all of those persons who work under Mr. Kelsey and Mr. Philip and bringing new personnel from Sunny Point and security officers. And some of them down here almost 12 to 13 years cannot get an increase. But she will have credit card to travel off and take off UDC account and use it up along with the chairman. They need to be locked up. If a man with a spliff police catches gonna lock him up, you have to show people that no, enough is enough and we're going to lock you up. Mr. Brantley don't lock them up.
Yeah, but caller, with respect, we know that they have, I can confirm that they both, according to the minister, have credit cards, but up to this point in time, we don't know what the credit cards were used to get or to acquire. So let's be careful and let's be fair to them, right? When we see the statements of the credit card company, then we can make such judgment statements or propositions, okay? In fairness to them.
You find that the CEO and the lady who is in charge of security, both of them going on tour.
Yeah, but we don't know that for a fact, you know. But the fact is that
do you think you all have to dig and dig and dig till you get the right solution?
So, well, the minister, the current minister, has promised the country that she will provide that information. So let us not go ahead of ourselves and come to those sorts of conclusions. In fairness to the CEO and the former chairman. Okay.
And what are they? They have a problem with Mrs. Wendy Phipps. They say she's a traitor because she's a Pam. And look what she's doing to some people. The lady doing she work.
Okay.
She's doing she work as a senator and even that she's an honorable.
Okay. I got you loud and clear, my brother. Thanks for your...
People should know to understand when you do something wrong, you should be locked up and go behind bars and then the consequence come that you answer to them.
But when we reach that bridge, we'll cross it though. But I haven't reached that bridge just yet. I got you.
I just hope it doesn't stay long.
Okay.
And over at Skeleton.
Okay.
Over at Skeleton and up at the public works. Okay. These things have to be investigated before the election come.
Okay, my
Get them out the way.
Okay, my brother.
You too.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. And like I said, we can establish, we mean in straight talk, can establish, can confirm that there were 2 credit cards being used by the CEO and the CEO and the chairman respectively. We cannot, however, establish what these credit cards were used for in terms of procuring any services or any goods in that from that particular account. Let me be clear with that. So let's not go there as yet. That's being a little premature. This message reads, before I go to that line, good evening, Ambassador. I hope that wherever you are staying safe. Thank you for the concern. Yes, I am staying safe. I watched the former Deputy Prime Minister Sean Richards talk out his business, which I thought that as someone who wants to be the next Prime Minister, it was out of place. Not that it's going to happen. Another observation is Dr. Douglas and his theme song, Simply the Best. I think that Dr. Drew is being overshadowed by Dr. Douglas. I wonder how much support Dr. Drew has from the executive branch. Just some thoughts. By the way, I keep playing that song, Goodness of God. I remembered some of your songs, Concierto and Feelings. I got that to remember a long time. Let's go back to the lines caller. Thank you for holding. You're live.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Patches.
How are you getting so fast?
Yeah, me again. When people in the heat, they were seeing people all kind of bad. But when they were here, they were good. But now because the situation come now, is a problem. All of you join unity, you know. So all of you supposed to answer and see what's going on there. Because all of you unity end up with Pam. So all of his members and board members. So me ain't getting in that. All I want people know that too. Me getting in that. All I remember. Members only. I was you.
Thank you very much. Oh, my Labour friend, she gets in so fast at times. I saw a message here on Facebook, which I want to read it because it seems to be, it is quite interesting, and I want to read that message. My Shudok family, it's coming from Josette. I won't call the name, but Josette. And Joseph writes, Mr. Patches, with all due respect, the statement you read, beg your pardon, every night about being fair to all and causing ill will, etc., is hypocritical. I think Nevis should secede. I thought minutes of boards and cooperation should be confidential, except in case of commission of inquiry, etc. What example is this to the 25 remarkable teens and other young adults? The way our leaders are acting. Who thief board from board, who thief land and house, on which land? Second cruise pier, concrete and steel, lamp pole thief, booth thief. This sounds like house arrest. What and who are we voting for in St. Kitts? Nevis's mandate is fair share. What is St. Kitts' mandate? More thieves, reads this particular message. Very interesting perspective, but that's what Straight Talk is all about. We are all entitled to our views. So Josette, that's your view. We respect it, but we don't necessarily accept it. Caller, you're live.
Good evening again, Honorable.
Yes, sir.
Now, here's come a firm like UDC. You want to tell me they don't have a checkbook? They only have 2 people have credit cards that could just go around and purchase what they want to purchase with them credit card and not writing checks.
Just for clarification, I think you meant UDC. You said TDC. UDC you meant, right?
No, UDC. I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes. You know, so because the whole trouble about it, right? I noticed down there, I observe every minute they got price giving. Price giving for this, price giving for that, and all kind of thing. You understand me? With the minister himself buying weed eater and all them kind of thing. When you taking UDC money and buying weed eater and you're getting the credit for it? Huh?
Well,
them things is wrong.
Again, Rockefeller, right? Let's be clear. The minister donated equipment to UDC. You don't know where he got the money from. You know?
Well, I'm talking about that.
Okay, so what you said about it?
That is right talking about that.
Okay.
So if they misuse UDC money.
You can't say, but you don't know. Yeah, but rock, please. You we cannot confirm that the money he got to read it as through the use of UDC money. We cannot establish that. So I don't want you to go down that road. Right? He donated some equipment to the UDC. We don't know. The straight lock don't know where he got the money to procure the equipment that he gave to UDC. That's a fact. So I don't want to entertain that.
So you're telling me it's right for them to have 2 parking lots running, right? And when the parking lot close up at 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock, they come down with their own thing and open them back up and start to collect money for people to come in until in the night, like 9, 10 o'clock in the night, and you tell me those things is fair when them poor people down there ain't making no money at all. Eh? You come to go to the post office with the same people own. There's the thing for the post office. The man who in charge of the UDC as the minister is in charge of the post office, but you can't go to the post office and you can't park out in the street because you can't come in the yard to park. You understand me? And they force you to go all the way around there in the park just to get $5 and what they charge, and then they're going scot-free with that. But there's something serious thing gonna happen out to this thing here, you know, because I was the only one down there was forced to pay when the Prime Minister on television telling you get a 6-month break free. And I had to keep on paying, and every time I talk, they shout me down with all kind of lawyer letters and all kind of things. And they give me time to do this, I'm going to have to get out of here. Me and the woman got the place, they're securing for she husband who can't run a business. You understand me?
Let's not get to the personal matters there, right?
Look, I said the woman, you know, who's the woman? Who is the woman?
But please, let's not argue that.
Who is the woman?
Let us not argue
Who's the woman? There's only one woman work.
Well, let's not argue that. You know, let's not argue that, please. Yeah, but if you argue it, I could just simply just turn the volume down. Nobody will hear you. I won't even hear you. So let's not argue that. Okay? Oh. I will turn you down so you talk to yourself. Please let's not go down that road. Please, I'm begging you as my friend, please let us not go down that road. Okay? Please, okay? Yeah, but it doesn't necessarily. But it doesn't justify what you're saying on the radio. It does not justify it. I empathize with you. Anything else you have to say? Anything else you have to say, my brother? Rockstone, man, we don't need to go down that road, please. We don't need to go down that road. Trust me, we don't need to go down that road. Caller, are you live? Hello, caller?
Hello?
Yes, you're live, caller.
Hello?
You have your equipment or something on your radio? Please turn it off.
Okay, I'm not buying it.
Yes, thank you for your understanding.
Okay, good night.
Good night.
What I want to ask you, so who is responsible for the port with this search in a barrel? Because I hear a lot of things up the port, and who is responsible over there? It's corrupt over there. So who is responsible for these barrel business and searching and turning people things them inside there like garbage? Who is responsible for that?
Well,
it come under the same administration.
CASPER, which is the Ports Authority, as far as I know, is what they call the custodian of the cargo. In terms of excise and duties, that falls under the Customs Department. The control of customs is in charge of that. The control of customs, I think, is accountable to the financial secretary, because that department comes under the Ministry of Finance. I think I recognize the voice. Have you had
and the next thing again, And next year again, going when you leave in, who is responsible for up the airport too? Because once ago, when you leave in and come in, your family come and drop you by the terminal building. And the last time when I was coming up here, my family had to drop me in the parking lot. I didn't even see no guys to help me to pay them to pull the luggage up. I had to pull the luggage up. When my cousin come out to help me go up the luggage, a lady said that he can't leave the vehicle there. So who is responsible for all these things, putting people in stress, under stress?
Well, I would agree with you. Something is wrong with the policy to send people into the car park. When the airport is designed with an overhang in the event that rain comes, you go around and you drop off your passengers or you pick up your passengers, just like the taxi drivers, and move on. Whoever is doing that, I do not support it, and it is wrong. I will tell you up front, I do not support it. If they are sending people to the car park, something is wrong, and the management.
So who is responsible for all of that? Because they're putting people in under stress.
The Ports Authority. Because the Ports Authority. Bear me out a minute. The Ports Authority is responsible for that, and I, Ian Patches Liburd, say it is wrong. So I support you.
My daughter came to help me pull up the. My daughter came to help me pull up the luggage them day because I had two luggage. She can't even go inside the terminal. She had to beg somebody, one of them who walk in there, to help me my luggage inside. It was very stressful.
Well, I understand.
All these kind of things.
I understand. Let me be fair.
Who is responsible for all these?
Just bear me out. I know you get emotional, but please, let's be calm, right? During the COVID situation, even in the United States of America, you're not really allowed to enter the terminal building if you're not traveling, and that was a COVID requirement. So nothing is really wrong with that. Only passengers should really go into the terminal building, right? But in terms of taking your luggage from the car park, there's not even a ramp at the car park. You have to bring them up the steps. Something is wrong with that, and I support you on that one. But going into the terminal building, I understand.
In New York, I don't know where because in New York, when anybody drop you off, they drop you off and they put the car in the parking lot and they come in, and they come right in by the counter with you. But the only thing, when you go to check in, you have to hold your mask. You cannot pass the line to when you.
But if you look at the sign would say on the door, passengers only. But millions of people pass through, so they don't really check every passenger. But the line, the signs on the door, you will look at the next time you go there. I was there a couple of weeks ago. And the sign says passengers only. He said passengers only in the terminal. But the millions of people go to there, so they don't check everyone, you know. But
I'll check.
Our little airport here, I mean, I could understand, you know, with the COVID situation, sometime it'll break down, I'll change, but I could understand, and I just learned that the other day. But again, I do not support the view that you send people into a car park, right? And then have to pull their luggage up some steps there to get to the terminal building. And in fact, the terminal was designed for a drop-off and a pickup. The taxis do that, so people who are going to the airport to drop off their family should be allowed to go around and not be forced into a car park. I stand by that position, and I think it is wrong.
And the next year again, the investigation that the Prime Minister is doing, he'll right to do it. Whenever they find out anything, come out and let us know. Because in case of any government going, because all they're saying, when they say the Prime Minister do that, Mark said, why should he get all the praise? But no, everything, all the badness is pointing to him. So he right now to investigate whatever going on and let us know what's going on, because nobody know where the shop going bust, because election coming and nobody know where the shop going to bust. So therefore, get it clear before election come that everybody could know what's going on. Nobody gonna point the finger upon the Prime Minister. He ain't going down by himself. Nobody gonna send him down when he not supposed to go down there. So he doing the right thing. Continue, Tim. Do it. PM, do it and do it and do it. I'm behind you. I'm a PLP and I'm going to stay PLP. When Timothy not running, me not vote. Good night.
Good night, my dear. You've said it. You've said it. We understand you. You made your case loud and clear. Remember, if you're just joining us, we're looking at mouth open Tory jump out. It's 15 before the 10 o'clock hour. Caller, you live.
Patches, good night again. Patches, not because it's a straight talk. And people must understand all the station and the media got a control and you got to know what to say. Certain things. Sometimes you can't come and you answer anything. The court also is there. If you make a liable statement against somebody, the registration could be penalized, and you ask who make the liable statement could be penalized. So not because of the street, not because it's straight talk. We got to understand that you got to get evidence, full evidence with these things and investigate these things. And maybe the police or some lawyer or somebody intervene and, bring it to justice until when you talk, when these things done. Not because you come in and you just straight talk. But I just want to ask you a question, a simple question. I hear in different things in constituency, number one. You understand? Because I was up here 2 days ago, and they were saying some young man supposed to run, and I get a lot of defeat from people, and a lot of defeat from supporters up there who support in PLP, who support them, and they're saying that they will stay with the PLP. They will stay with the PLP, but they don't want patches and all them kind of thing there. So patches, let me know that if you're running or not, or if somebody is running, because, and it's an easy thing to patches. As long as PLP win this government, they just secure deal. So just let me get public if you're going to run or not. You understand? The most important thing that we want to get this thing over, we want to call out all our candidates and get the ball rolling with the campaigning. That is again, you have a wonderful night. May God bless.
God bless you as well, my dear brother. And what's important is that PLP would be fielding a team of candidates, and PLP would be going forward as a team and not as individuals. That's the only thing I can say to you, my brother. Caller, are you alive? Yes, you're live.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. That is, I call to agree with the lady before, Mr. Politics. 100% you all. Miss, I think I heard you this morning. And you are so positive. No, Patrick, somebody up the airport, what they are doing to passengers, it is wrong, and they know it is wrong. But sabotage come from east, west, north, and south. And all them sabotage pointing at the center. Nobody's supposed to do that. You drive up, log the taxi them, take out your luggage, and you go and you park up. Or you want to go to the gate and park up somewhere, you do that. But like I said, sabotage is all about. Mr. Politics, take it easy. Okay. The Prime Minister knows what he's doing. He knows exactly when to announce who is who and where is where. There are certain things you don't come and people don't come and hear and give information about that.
Okay.
There's a time for everything. We all will know. And if patches don't announce who running in number one, that does not mean that PLP gonna lose. So just be patient and walk behind.
Okay.
Patches this backs up the ear of CPL. What India is so important that it got to cost that kind of money? Well, anyway, when you build in a house and you got people working with you, you have to pay them. And so therefore, you want your money to pay the people. Rock and Dot need his money to complete his job. The job is not finished. And all because Patches is not there. Because the man in charge ain't going in, go work for 3 months, the job cannot finish. So, Mr. Rock and Dot and everybody who listening sense, please vote for people who will make a difference in the country and not destroy the country. Okay. Thank you very much, Patches. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Have yourself a good night. Caller, I want to thank you for holding. You're live. Hello, caller.
Yes. Good night. How are you?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
Okay. I am more than peaceful. I'm at ease now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had just called you because I was little upset with asking you about letting people them know if you're running. If you're running PLP, the Prime Minister not bring out he party yet. So you just know, I'm glad how you answer him. I'm very thankful how you answer him because that's what they're calling you to tell you. Let the Prime Minister, Timothy, bring out the party. Don't get out to if you're running. It's your business if you're running. Not because you think you could think. I like how you answer. And have a good night. And we'll talk again. Bye.
Have a good night, my dear brother. The facts of the matter are that PLP would be taking part in the election, and PLP would come as a team, and that team will be expected to win with a leader who is currently the best leader that we have at this point in time. A leader who's satisfied, who got rid of our public debt, eliminated crime, managed the COVID so well. Why should we gamble with another leader? Caller, you're live. Hello, caller.
I am back, Patrick.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me explain something to you. Listen, I am not taking on Mr. Politics with what...
Listen, Rock. Let me say something to you. I am not going to entertain any argument with you on this program. All right? Please, understand that. I don't care what you say.
When you figure I don't tell and cut me off.
But then I'll have to do that. But I'm saying to you, I am not entertaining any argument with you on this program. I am
not arguing with you, you know. I'm talking straight now.
But let's what is on your mind? Do you have something new? We have exhausted that topic. What is on your mind?
Which one we exhausted?
What do you have
Which
new?
One the topic
what do you have new to bring to the program?
What I have new to bring to the program?
Yes.
I have a lot of things new to bring to the program.
So you have 3 minutes. Sorry, you have 2 minutes to make those topics known. Go ahead, please.
What I would like to know, Patrick, who I supposed to tell me documents them for you to see to have them overlooked? Could you tell me who I should tell them to?
So take them to the management of UDC. You can't bring them to Straight Talk. Take them to the management of UDC.
Who is the management of UDC?
You're asking me a question that I don't need to answer because you very well know. You have associated yourself. You have.
You tell me everybody gone. So are you want to know who's the management?
I did not tell you everybody gone. Please don't fabricate no stories on me, please.
What are you telling me then?
Rock, I think we exhausted that. Anything else?
You have a nice night, Patrick.
Have a nice night as well, my brother. Okay? Let's go back to the lines. Caller. Are you there, caller? Are you there, caller?
Yes, I am. Yes.
I haven't heard this voice for a long time.
Hey, man. Good evening, everybody out there in Radioland.
Good evening, my brother. Good evening, my brother.
The ambassador, former minister, how are you doing tonight, may I ask?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
I am doing well myself, I have to say. I have no complaints except I'm in a state of heightened expectancy. And I hope that it is not too prolonged. I was listening to you, and as usual, but before saying that, I have to say that our little interlude was very generous with your time. In recent times, was endearing. You look well.
Thank you, my brother.
And I still feel the same energy, positive energy, radiating outward from you in waves. Thanks so much for being you. I listened to you tonight, and you are always the consummate leader because you're talking about not hearing from me in a while, especially in silly season, even though we have to be scrupulously honest with each other. I said I wonder how he must feel, because he's been such an asset to me. And then tonight I heard you say that you like Dr. Drew, and when you got through, I said, you
You like Dr. Drew like I like you or I love you. Even though I didn't get a chance yet to sing at your wedding or an opportunity to be the best friend of your dad. You said that so smoothly. I said the same thing applies here. And then, immediately thereafter, I said, I have to tell him, though, that it is indeed tragic to run the wrong race and win. But as a lifelong friend and admirer, I will save you from that indignity this time around. I promise you that. And a plague, as you well know, has been unleashed in this land of ours. And the populace is restless as a result. You know, it's highly contagious, and we must at all costs isolate the carriers before some semblance of normalcy can be had. I note with considerable relief and relish that not once for a change was the Labour Party mentioned, much less blamed for our affliction tonight. Kudos. Even you yourself are getting it. The virus, the malady, the rot is indeed internal. Having said that, permit me to ask you in closing. Reasoning from this perspective, your heart must bleed. I know you were at one point an idealist. Women with such fresh optimism inspiring me. From this perspective, how would you, may I ask, expect an enlightened, rational, and forward-looking voter to think? I give you in closing the newly Dr. Drew-led 90-year-old Labour Party with its fresh, bright, mature, and innovative candidates who are yearning. You could hear them. It's in them to make a transformational difference in our beloved federation. And I close as you started by saying to those who oppose, when I heard you said that, I said, this is how I'm going to close. For those of you who oppose, do you know what you said? It's time for a change. Denial is the order of the day. A new dawn is coming. Thank you so much for hearing me out throughout, and may God richly bless you as you keep on doing what you think is best for the Federation, because guess what? If you didn't do it, people like me wouldn't have a voice. Good evening, folks.
Good evening, my brother. Yes, it's time for a change. We're going to change the PAM CCM arrangement, and it is predicted that PLP, the People's Labour Party, under the astute leadership of Timothy Sylvester Harris, would form the next government. And that sounds like a real, not only reasonable, but most rational prediction based on the fact, based on the performance of Timothy Sylvester Harris. Yes, I believe, though, my friend, and not just my friend for life, Dr. Jew, perhaps his time will come. But in these unpredictable, in these unprecedented and these difficult times, we cannot take that risk. That is my humble view. We cannot take that risk with Dr. Jew at the helm of this country. Caller, you live, but I love him.
Good evening, Patrice. How are you this evening, sir?
I am peaceful, my brother. Yourself?
Good. Just a little advice to Rock. Rock is a smart guy. He got a good business head. But he's not as smart as you. He got to listen to what you say. He's going to run himself into problems. You know what they're trying to do right now? And don't be surprised if they do it. If they go and try to pull a lawsuit, say, Patrick says something. You got to understand, you one of the smartest men in Sinkage. You ain't a fool. And go, listen to me. I would never support a party that don't have unit. You're the one who's saving Sinkage, okay? Mind the girl, they're trying to steal you and put in the paperwork party. We so bad with, smoking mirrors. Don't do that, because that is what the Douglas Mafia Labour Party did. When you catch them thieving and lying, they start going to the court, you defame me. So they might do that just to make the people think that, they're truthful. You don't know, tell what, you gotta listen. The man is fighting for you. Listen up. And you need to think. I'm telling you, nobody can support a party. But it's parties I'm hearing, I can't believe the things I'm hearing. I can't talk. I cannot talk. And you gotta understand, Sinkage is a very dirty, corrupt country. Okay, I've been telling you all that. But the dirty, corrupt. Dirty, corrupt. And what got to listen to you? Because they'll go right now tomorrow and get the lawyer up there in Newton and say, Patrick says something, you say, no, you ain't a fool. You know what to say. Okay? So stop fighting with Patrick. He's looking out for you. You're an intelligent guy and we respect you. But listen, don't step in it, okay? Patrick is not stupid. Patrick is one of the greatest people in thinking. He should save in this country, okay? Now somebody call from Nevis. There must be Mark Anthony supporter. Why they always come with this crap about secession? But people don't want to go with thinking. They've been begging. They say they don't want to be the people. They want to be with.
Okay, caller, we seem to have lost that caller. I don't know. We seem to have. No, we seem to have. I dare caller?
Mr. Ian Patrice Liburd.
Yes, sir. How art thou?
I'm wonderful and giving thanks. About 4 weeks ago, I requested you to play a song for me, and you deny me of playing that song for me.
Which song?
I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it.
Which song
that was Nation Building by Calypso Joe.
Yes, you did. I forgive me.
I didn't hear it. So I didn't hear it. Sorry. So I'll be grateful if you can ease it back in for me. Such as this election is going to be one of the most interesting elections that we have ever had in Sinkage and Nevis. The reason being is because we were accustomed to a fight between PAM, Labour, NRP, and CCM. I guess the fight between CCM and NRP remained the same. In Sinkage, it's a little different. But this election, it's going to be about leadership. The folks who are in their home, sitting down, relaxing and listening,
those are the silent killer who are not saying nothing. This election are going to be about leadership. And at the end of the day, the one who the people think best to lead in this country are going to wear the crown. Now, I have listened to Mr. the Honorable Sam Kondo and Friday on Freedom Radio. And everyone are saying the Prime Minister is illegal. But at the time that they are saying it, they are refusing to present it from the Constitution where it said that they are illegal. I heard some conduct say that, oh, we cannot wait for 70 days more and people must get up and start protesting. Sam is my good friend, but if Sam really had read the Constitution, he would have realized that the Constitution makes it clear that if a vote of no confidence comes against the Prime Minister, he have 3 days in which to call the election, to resign or to call election. And if he doesn't have a vote of no confidence which tabled against you, it simply means that you can give a 21 days or a 90 days period for an election. So I am still waiting to hear where the Constitution said that one are illegal. And that's what we have to be very careful with, because most of us, even sometimes we hear someone on the radio station and they are saying what they think, and we must realize something, that England didn't give us a constitution. We give England the constitution and say this is how we want to run our country. And until we have constitutional reform, we are going to be in this mess. And nobody, no political party that I have looked at, are willing to educate the people about our constitution, because that constitution has caused us so much heartache, so much pain, and that was not a mistake that was designed. And today, when I sit back and I look at Sterling Llewellyn Moore, I am one who honestly believes that Llewellyn Moore should be a national hero. Yes, he might have had his flaws when he takes civil servants up in the Darcy High School auditorium and read the right after them. He might have had his flaws when he said that the government doesn't even have power to take life, sorry, to take land, but life also. But I can remember clearly that I think it was a green paper that Sterling Moore was putting out and showing us where our constitution would have caused us trouble along the line, and nobody paid him any mind because of politics. We were so blindfolded by our PAM party that we did not look at it. And looking at it today, Sterling Llewellyn Moore was looking at what he was seeing coming ahead. Now, every time the leader of Nevis speaks, I heard about this SIDF money. SIDF money. Now, my thing is that, hello?
Yeah, just wrap for me. I'm running out of time.
Yeah, I'm going to wrap it up now. Please. Let's work out that, for heaven's sake, the Labour Party in 6 weeks. He's still going to tell the people of Nevis, we are looking for our SIDF money, or he's going to say, this is my, politicians, you need to come to the public and tell the public what are your plans for the 5 years that you want to rule in, because you may never get the SIDF money, you may never get it. But let us say that you win an election, you need to tell the people, my plans for taking my country, St. Kitts and Nevis forward for the next 5 years, is this is how I am thinking about bringing investors to the country. Have a nice day.
Have a nice night as well, my dear brother. And I just to clarify that proposition made about not getting the SIDF money, but in fact we have the CBI. The SIDF has been folded up. Yeah. CBI, but but I got you loud and clear. I'll take one more call before we go. But thanks for your input, my dear brother. Have a nice night as well. And I believe that the as I said, the Constitution speaks to revenue allocation. No matter what you hear that Premier over there saying about CBI and fair share, CBI is revenue. Whether it's non-tax or tax revenue, it is revenue. And the economic classification is immaterial. It is revenue, and the revenue must be allocated as per the Constitution. I'll take 2 more calls, caller. I'll make you my penultimate call. I'm going to give you 30 seconds. Can you use it?
Hello, Patrick. Yeah, I'll take the 30 minutes. I got disconnected.
Yes, I'm sorry about that. 30 seconds or not minutes.
Yeah, just quickly, listen. People, look, no, I'm not start up with politics. You name it, we don't say, because you're not running. I never support no other party thinkers. I was never into politics. I learned from the dirty corruption of thinkers. And what I was saying to work, you're trying to save them, because now these guys are in their mess. The mess that is in, they will try to go to law and make up something and say you defend them, even though you didn't, to make the people, 1 or 2 people who might support them, think that, you're lying. Well, you don't lie. You ain't a fool. Now, another thing about this SIDF money. The SIDF, maybe people got it well. SIDF money, they changed the name. But that money for the sugar workers is Everson Hall. You might know Everson Hall. It should come up with this thing about passport money and all this. And Matt Brantley grab onto it and all the other people in Nevis. That money was for the sugar workers and they ain't getting the money. Sugar Industry Diversification Fund. That was for the sugar workers, man. And it's how we started to find them that money. SID, but they changed the name and everything. But that way, see, Douglas was lending money to them because that money is for the sugar workers. It's hardly to stay along and start talking all this nonsense. But Rob, do me a favor, listen to Patrick. And Patrick, I'll talk to you on Thursday night. All the best to you. God bless him. It wasn't for you, oh my God. And tell the lady if she wants to see God, but you don't want to go with thinking. Okay, Kikisha's not into that nonsense. But who wants to see Could be Gooby Island and all. And Gwilla to see Kikisha know they're quiet on Gwilla. They don't care.
Okay, my brother.
Okay, have a good one, Patrick.
Have a good
one. And Rock, listen to Patrick. He's one of the smartest men in thinking. Have a good one, Patrick.
Have a good one, my brother. I'm really humbled by your intervention. Caller, I'm gonna give you 30 seconds, and I really mean it. 30 seconds. Can you use it?
Okay, yes, sir. Hello, good night, Mr. Patches. How are you doing, sir?
I am peaceful. Yourself? I'm running out of time.
Great, my brother. It's nice to talk to you, man.
Likewise.
I'm your beloved brother.
Okay.
Matthew.
Okay, I got you. Selwyn. Am I right?
Yes. Oh, you know that.
New York,
listen
right?
to me,
That's
brother.
New York?
I just want to say that our brothers and sisters need not to have the confusion that they're having. You're trying to resolve the problem with them, and they're not listening to you. But you're such a great man, giving them the opportunity to resolve the problem, but they're not resolving it. Rock and all these guys don't need to bring the confusion, as you said. I'm going to come down one of these days and really sit down with you guys. But, brother, you're doing a wonderful job. You're a man of amongst many men. And what God has blessed you with, no man can take from you. And just be strong. Just hold your head up high.
Thank you, my brother. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the advice. And trust you are safe and well. Have yourself.
Thank you, my brother. Have a peaceful night.
Same to you. I'll take this and I'll make this my final call for the night. And caller, I'm really going to stick to that 30 seconds because I'm really out of time. Are you there, caller? Yes, you're live. Are you there, caller? Okay, here's what. I believe I am out of time. I gave you some time to get in, caller. I'm really going to give you just 30 seconds. Jam down is you. I will.
Boy, the lines them, hey, they're going like hot bread and butter. Patches,
My brother.
quickly, I know you're out of time, but I want to get across something. Patches, I want my Prime Minister to put Louis Hendrickson as the manager at the port, because it's too much nonsense in these institutions. For my piece and another present there, may I ready to touch that yet. Let the rest them deal with that. But I will deal with that in due time. Let you all clean yourself, because I want them, you know. I want them, you know. I want them, you know, Petty Raymond. I want them, my piece and you know. I want them. Anyway, you have a good night, and God bless you.
Have a good
You
night.
know me, and I know you.
You know me, I know you. That's the way we're gonna end it, my Straight Talk family, because I'm out of time. My time is done, and I got to run. For those who joined me late, we looked at the old adage, or the adage, mouth open, story jump out. It's an old saying which expresses a general truth about some aspect of life or about someone. It also means that sometimes when one is forced to talk, he or she says more than he or she is expected to say. We did not even get to the point where this former minister outline or try to outline to the country how much he's paying for a mortgage, how much he's paying for a car. And someone said to me, I wonder if Sean Richards eats grass to live. But that's for another time. But in our current political situation here in St. Kitts Nevis, friends, colleagues, and more specific in our case, politicians who once sat in cabinet together, are unbelievable, are so sad. They have now become mortal enemies. They have taken off their gloves, and sometimes it seems like it's comedy. Sometimes they come across as a bunch of comedians like this one.
Everywhere he goes, he is my leader. I'll follow you wherever you go. I'll follow you everywhere. If you go to the gates of hell, I might kick you in because I'm not going with you.
And we have to take Alexis Jeffers seriously, because the platform of the CCM touts absolute truth. So we must take Alexis Jeffers, we take him seriously when he suggests that his leader Mark Brantley is going to hell, because Mark Brantley really behaves like the devil most times. Now, denial is the order of the day, but it's not that easy to deny things when information is before us. When, for example, investigations have come forth about the issues or the impropriety, the issues of good governance. I said to you in the beginning that there is a constitutional directive, the constitutional mandate to all ministers, according to the Constitution, Section 61. It states, and I read it before, and I'll read it in departing, where any minister has been charged with responsibility for any department of the government, he or she shall exercise general direction and control over that department. So there's no excuse. There is no excuse whatsoever when a minister comes to you and said he or she does not know. I spoke to the lights, and the former minister of public infrastructure spoke to lights as well. But we're not saying that they should not put 2 poles in Sandy Point. We are concerned with the cost of those poles. $1 million. 4 poles cost less. 6 poles at Kekeon Field costs $1.6 million. And we asked the question, because the former Minister of Public Infrastructure wants to have a debate. The debate started. The debate started with some questions long ago. And a question tonight, what does Sean Richards know about the development of 6 acres of land by K.I. Homes? And Sean Richards talked about the Island Main Road and about the Old Road Bay. And here's a second observation, Sean Richards. 36 lights are required for the Old Road Bay completion, and which were to be installed by Skelec or by the contractor, whichever one, Rock and Dirt. Rock and Dirt has been instructed to erect the foundation for these lights. However, they have been given only 11 sets of bolts for the light poles, and for more than 3 months, no further work can be done by Rock and Dirt, the contractor, as all the bolts for 25 lights cannot be found, cannot be supplied, despite numerous requests to the chairman of Skelec Boncampo and the general manager Jomo Williams. That lights and those bolts were available since October last year. The question is, therefore, where are these bolts, where are these lights, and where are these bolts, which are approximately 3 feet long for the foundation, which are causing over 3 months of delay in completing the Old Road Bay project? And who is accountable for the cost of the delay? Are these the same lights at the Magnolia residence and condominiums being developed by KI Homes? And what is your relation, Sean Richards, with Halstead Isles? When you respond, I will provide more information on the Cabinet submission of 2016. But in the meanwhile, and for full disclosure, I will say, Halstead Isles is my cousin. What is the relationship to you? Your mouth, you open your mouth and questions. These questions or these stories also jumped out. My Straight Talk family.
My observations are as follows, and these observations are based on the minutes of the corporation, which I would have obtained from the secretary. I am still awaiting the receipt of several pertinent documents I requested from the corporation. Based on my perusal of the minutes, it is clear that corporate credit cards were issued to both the chairman and the chief executive officer. The credit limit on the card issued to the chairman is $26,250, while the one issued to the CEO carries a limit of $48,750.
That's information. $26,000 for a credit limit on a card for the outgoing chairman or the former chairman. The incumbent CEO, Cindy Deming, we are told by the minister her credit limit on the card was $48,000. We wait, we hold our breath to get a further report on these credit cards. And here's this. Would you believe this or not, my Straight Talk family?
The research has also uncovered that the issue of conflicts of interest would have been evident at the board level of the UDC. Independent and credible verification proved that one director of the corporation had been asked to resign as a result of him writing a check to himself. It should also be noted that the said director, according to the minutes, quote, was charged with spearheading the project, unquote, to construct a security guard hut at the marina.
Imagine that. One director writing a check unto himself. And finally, these stories jumped out as Sean Richards opened his mouth. And this final story I'll leave with you tonight is this one.
Other areas of concern have also surfaced in my review of the minutes of the board meetings of the UDC. One case in point is a listing of, quote, UDC projects/financial obligations, which is an outline of the large amounts that were to have been paid out by the UDC in 2021. While most of these expenses were related to operational costs within the UDC's mandate, there appears to have been provision of support to the former Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Richards, in the amount of $100,000 for the outfitting of his private box at the CPL. This line item is listed as, quote, support for minister and staff incentives.
And that's what we are told. So, Sean Richards, let the debate continue. The question, though, is this the caliber of leader we need to be Prime Minister of this federation? According to Dr. Simmons, hell no. I know when. Mouth open, story jump out. That's my story for tonight, and I am not going to change it. I gave you some time because I understand that Thursday, Straight Talk may not have access via the radio. So in that event, I want to apologize right now, my Straight Talk family. I'll give you some information on that before Thursday. But until that time, let us thank Almighty God for guiding our conversation tonight. And as always, let us thank all those who joined us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and of course on the Big Bad ZIZ Radio 96.1. Remember, you are the ones, and those on the email as well. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big thank you. I'm Ian Patrick Liburd, and God's spare. We will tell you before Thursday whether we'll have a Straight Talk program. The CEO of UDC has not called. She tried to call my personal number, but as I said, on Mondays and Thursdays, we don't talk in private, we talk in public. So until we connect, my Straight Talk family, be good to yourselves. Remember, we have an election to win. And I say we, meaning the PLP. Sooner rather than later, the candidates will be determined. We need a change. We need a change that those irresponsible leaders, the one from Nevis, Mark Brantley, and the one from St. Kitts, Sean Richards, precipitated. They forced us into an election. They forced us into a premature election. But we can say, perhaps that's the way God planned it. So let's, when we go to the polls, we consider that these two leaders, Mark Brantley and Sean Richards, they are not fit for purpose. They can't be in government. We have to punish them. And we have a fresh team led by Dr. the Honorable Timothy Sylvester Harris. That's the way we're going to end tonight, my Straight Talk family. Remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. So let's just believe. Let's just believe in PLP, and let's turn this country back into the hands of responsible leadership. Until we connect, keep moving on. Bye-bye, my Straight Talk family.
The morning, I thank God for the morning light, giving thanks and praises for taking me safely through the night, for the rest of food and loving care, and for my mother's breath of life that's got me here. So whatever my mind conceives, that I will achieve, you better believe, because I do the things I should, be to my brethren kind and good, the